Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. Today I have a wear and tear on the Chanel Deauville. I've been getting a lot of questions on this bag as to how it's been holding up since I have had it for a little over a year. So I hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Before I get into the wear and tear, let me give you guys a quick tour of this bag. This is the large size Deauville, or the 30 centimeter, and this size comes with a few different ways that you can actually end up carrying it. You either have the option of hand carry or crook of your arm, because it does have these shorter leather handles, which is really nice, or if you wanted to pop it on your shoulder, it also comes with this chain shoulder strap, and this guy has fabric woven in between, so it makes it very, very comfortable, and it also has a very generous strap drop. You can also end up feeding this chain all the way through and just kind of give it a little bit more of a decorative feel if you wanted to. I don't know, some people like to do that. I know sometimes I like to. Other times I have it all the way out. The exterior on this one consists of the raffia material, and it doesn't have any feet on the bottom. It also doesn't have any exterior pockets or anything like that. And on the inside, it might be a little bit harder to tell, but it also has the black fabric lining, and it features one zippered pocket here, two slip pockets on the other side. Again, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it or not. And it also has this little guy that's kind of like a little leather lanyard, I guess, where you can end up putting your keys on there if need be. I did do a review on this, so if you guys are interested, if you want to see an in-depth, you know, like the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I will make sure and put it on the description box below. Now, as far as the wear and tear, I have used this bag to death. And I'll be honest with you, I had my doubts. I was super apprehensive about adding it to my collection because I knew that there would be things that would come up the more and more that I used it that usually end up turning me away from a certain handbag, but I decided to just go for it, not think twice about it, and just be able to enjoy the bag. You know, not necessarily want to put it in a bubble. I know I am known for putting things in bubbles. I try my hardest not to, but sometimes it just gets the best of me. It's easier said than done to just be able to say, you know what, it is what it is. Whatever happens, no big deal. But to me, it is a big deal. But still, I was just like, no, I am determined to just use this bag. And if anything happens, then it just adds character to it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's start off with the exterior. The first thing that I have to point out, 100% this bag has lost its shape. And that's what I was saying. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you guys know that I tend to go for very structured handbags. When bags turn into a beautiful mess, and let me just show you what I mean by beautiful mess. I am holding it by the handles, but when I let it go, this is what happens. It ends up flattening out on its own, and even if I have items in here, even if I have a cosmetic case or a toiletry pouch, or even if I have a larger wallet, it still doesn't hold its shape as well as it did when I first got it. And I really started to notice that probably within the first few months, it started to get wrinkles really bad on the side, and it started to just kind of, it started to sag a little bit on the bottom, and in the front, it would kind of have some lumps and bumps going on as well. It's not going to be as noticeable just because of the color that it has, but whenever I have it, you know, up on the desk, or if I have it on a table, you're able to see those a little bit more. So I started to also notice that everything started to gravitate straight towards the bottom of the bag. It would cause this to kind of sag a little bit. I know some people aren't a fan of the sag. They don't find it very appealing. To me, it doesn't really bother me, but still, it's kind of a pain in the butt when you have such a big bag and you have everything literally going down to the bottom. So because this is the raffia material, it is a little bit softer, and it just started to lose its shape a little bit more. So I definitely cheated when it came to the structure of this bag. As I said before, I tend to go for very structured handbags. I like something that I can just sit on the table. It won't turn into that beautiful mess that I just showed you guys. And I decided to give purse organizers a chance. And that's another thing. If you've been watching my channel for a while, a lot of you know that purse organizers weren't really my thing. I always appreciated them, but I always just said, no, 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 not for me, not for me. So I gave some organizer a chance, and I honestly feel that it's been a game changer with this bag, because now it doesn't turn into that mess. It doesn't lose its shape on the sides. It doesn't sag just because it has this. Plus, it makes it a little bit easier for me to be able to find my items, or not necessarily find them because this is a ginormous bag, but just to be able to have them in a very organized manner. Because usually, I don't know about you, but usually when it comes to big bags, I feel compelled to throw everything in the kitchen sink. It doesn't matter. If I have something in my hand, I'm like, oh, it goes in the bag. I have this, it goes in the bag. And then after I clean out my bag, I'm like, why the hell am I carrying this? Why the hell am I carrying that? I don't know, but anyways, that's a little bit of a side note. So structure loss definitely ended up happening with this bag. And because of the organizer, I really feel that it's really helped its shape. And I also keep the organizer in there when I go to store the bag because I feel that if it does that great of a job when I'm using it, if I'm not using it when I go to store it, it might end up prolonging the life of the structure a little bit more. I don't know. Surprisingly, I haven't had any color transfer with this bag. I thought for sure I would have gotten color transfer. Not so much because the color is so light, but more than anything because I do tend to wear a lot of dark colored clothing. I wear a lot of denim, and even though I do like the shoulder strap, I don't wear it too often. I tend to use this bag mostly on the crook of my arm or as a hand carry bag, and because of where it lays, it almost always ends up rubbing up on my jeans on this part here, and as you can see, no color transfer whatsoever. So nothing on this part, and I also don't have anything on the corners. But like I said, I thought, oh man, for sure, once I have a pair of really dark denim that I absolutely love. I wear them all the time, and when I went to use this bag, I'm like, okay, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And I was like dreading it already, but I'm like, no, don't put it in the bubble. And after I wore them all day, I looked at the bag and I was just like, wait, what? No color transfer. So it made me very happy, to say the least. I also haven't had any issues with fraying. I know that it also depends on the type of material, but because this is a larger tote, and usually with larger totes, they end up getting fraying on the corners just from setting them down or from bumping up against things. But I haven't had any issues with fraying on there either. So I did do a little bit of research on this particular material, and from what I saw, people had said that it's very durable. It's a little bit more durable than some of the other types of fabrics that they use for the Deauville, so that's just something I wanted to throw out there just in case. But don't quote me on it. As always, you know, do your own research just to give you a little bit more peace of mind. So no fraying. I also haven't had any issues with the leather. No cracking, no varnish wears. There's no scratches. There's a little bit of wrinkling just because that's how I always end up carrying it, as I said before. But other than that, I think that the leather looks incredibly well for as much as I've used this bag. So there's the other side, and let me just show you guys the interior, or the inside of the handle. And as you can see, no varnish wear, no cracking. My thumb's in the way, but there we go. So no issues on that. And I think because of the fibers that the raffia has, if you do end up holding this up to the light, you can see a lot of little like fuzzies throughout the entire bag. It's not as noticeable just because it is a lighter color, but if you go to hold this up, you can really end up seeing them. I kind of call this like my fuzzy bag. I don't know. It doesn't look bad, but again, I wanted to throw that out there just in case. It kind of reminds me of pilling, but maybe not as intense as if you get it on cotton or anything like that. And this does have the fabric trim around here. I haven't had any pilling on this. I thought for sure maybe this one would have it more than this, but it doesn't. There we go. I also don't have any pilling throughout the fabric on the chains. It could be because I don't use it as a shoulder bag, as I said before. I haven't had any problems with the hardware tarnishing or getting too scratched. The grommets still look pristine. There we go. And again, let me show you guys a shot of the back side. Maybe you'll be able to see the wrinkling a little bit more. If I go to just do this, you'll end up seeing it there. So far, I would have to say that besides the fact that it does have structure loss, as far as the exterior goes, I would probably have to give it either an 8 out of 10 or maybe even a 9 out of 10, just because, again, no fraying, no color transfer, no problems with the leather, no cracking, no peeling. So I think it's pretty good, again, for as much as I've used this bag. And the interior looks as good as it did the first day, just because I did end up putting the organizer in there, so that really ends up saving the interior as well. I know that some people have noticed that the darker colored Deauvilles, they end up getting a little bit faded as time goes by, just the interior, just because of the fabric. But again, I think that this really ends up saving how it looks inside. But there we go. As you can see, no issues whatsoever. So altogether, I would have to say that for as much as I've used this bag, and I have really put it through the ringer, I have traveled with it, it has been awesome. Maybe it's not the best bag to travel with just because I am that type of person. As I said, you know, previously, I end up just throwing everything in there, and it can get very heavy. you know, just because it is a little bit softer, so you'll be able to feel the weight of all of those items. But I still think this is an awesome, awesome bag. I think it's very great. It can get heavy at times. It all depends on what you carry inside. But as far as wear and tear goes, I think it has held up incredibly well. I have also been caught in the rain with it and no issues whatsoever. Again, it could be just because of the material that it is, the raffia. But I think if I was to go for another Deauville, I do have another one, which is the pink one. That one is the raffia and the fabric blend. I really do like that one, but I think if I was to go for another one in the future, if for whatever reason I wanted to buy another one or to add it to my collection, I would most definitely end up going for this material, just because I do find it to be very, very durable, and it doesn't end up showing those imperfections that maybe other ones might end up having. So there we go. So I think it is great. But that does it for my wear and tear. I know it was a little long-winded at times, but I wanted to give you guys as much information as possible, especially if you're looking to add this item to your collection. If you enjoyed it, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And if you guys want me to do more wear and tear videos, let me know in the comment section down below, or if there's a specific bag that you want me to do. Mostly I end up doing reviews, so I think I only have maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 wear and tear videos. But if you want me to do more, if there's a specific one, as I mentioned, let me know in the comment section down below. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.